For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Coming up on the broadcast this afternoon, the government of St. Lucia, the SLP was in opposition, said that it would be delivering the St. Jude Hospital. If it delivers just a structure without it being commissioned, has it fulfilled that promise? And also, local government minister and MP for Castries Central said, should St. Jude not be completed within our term, I will not contest the next poll. We'll be revisiting that statement, and we'll be doing some worky and a whole lot more between now and 2 o'clock this afternoon right here on the most monitored talk show in the world. Of course, that is NewsSpin. It is on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as TuneIn, Radio Garden, and NewsSpin YouTube channel. Let me take the opportunity to remind you to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. Also, comment on the platform. Amanda is here, and she's going through the various comments on YouTube as well as on Facebook. And you could call as well at 452-2979, 452-2979. And the WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. We also have a book to give away on the broadcast. So we have to haggle over a particular issue. Unnecessarily so, in my estimation. And we have to go through the nuances of words and also parse some words, examine them, scrutinize them for their true meanings. And it's very unfortunate that we have to do so, particularly in the case of St. Jude Hospital, a recurring decimal. The fire occurred, and I think most reasonable people anticipated it would have taken just a couple years. It's a couple of years, not literally 2 years. But for the most, even if you're a layman, you're not an engineer, an architect, you know nothing about construction, and somebody were to ask you how long you think it would take to construct and fully commission a hospital, I think most reasonable people would say 5 years. But 16 years. Close to 20 years. And we still have to argue about St. Jude because it remains unfinished business after so many administrations. So much for leadership on the part of our prime ministers. Stephenson King, Dr. Kenny Anthony, back to Alan Chasney, and now Philip J. Pierre. And you ask yourself, what's so magical about the work that those people are charged with in terms of how they're performing, the execution of their duties, what they have to show, and the fact that they are so busy? It appears now, as far as St. Jude is concerned, doing next to nothing. Next to nothing. Because on this 11th hour, on the cusp of a general election, you have a prime minister who is saying, there's precedent. The structure called OKEU was completed, but it was not commissioned. You see, when he wants to use what he might deem to be the shortcomings of a previous administration to his advantage. But the previous government, it took COVID for the hospital to be commissioned. So why? We can't complete the building and just have it there as a structure, as a monument, to demonstrate our work. We have completed the building, but you can't get in. The patients and the staff. We'll invite the press. We'll invite the entire nation. It's completed. But the patients and the staff are still operating, existing, convalescing under unbearable conditions at the stadium. And we ought not to be speaking on behalf of the patients. We ought not to be speaking on behalf of the staff of St. Jude Hospital. We ought not to be speaking on behalf of the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association. They are well placed to speak on that particular issue. They live it every day. They have the empirical evidence, and also particularly the residents in the south of the island. They are feeling the effects of not having a fully functioning health institution in the south. And if they feel powerless and they don't want to represent the interest as an act of cowardice, why should we take up their charge? Why should we speak on their behalf? But NewsSpin is an institution, and we have to do what is expected of this broadcast without fail. Whether we are loved or hated, it is not about praise. It's not even about any kind of reaction. It is the responsibility that we have assumed. And we try to do this in an impartial manner. And if this government completes that building and says it's a hospital, and the staff cannot go in, cannot transfer the patients into that structure to have it commissioned and to be truly considered a hospital, then it has yet again joined the ranks of the previous administrations which have failed to deliver on that important health institution. It has failed. And it will maybe take another administration, whether it's the SLP returns or the United Workers' Party returns, to complete the project. If this is not done before the next general election, then this whole thing is incomplete and it will just be a farce. And another case of governments taking the people for a ride, and maybe even one can stretch it and say disrespecting the people, treating them like fools. So here is the Prime Minister speaking on the whole St. Jude commissioned issue. I think he was speaking this week on Monday during the pre-cabinet press briefing.
We will deliver St. Jude's. But I want to tell you, again, I've said so to you before. The OKEU hospital was ready from 2015. A transitioning board led by Dr. Stephen King was done. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, COVID caused us to rush. For that commissioning, we brought Cayman City that cost the public $25 million. So I just want to tell you that St. Jude as a building is fine. St. Jude as a hospital has to get commissioned. So our promise is to give you the building. He said so, to make it available. And I want to tell you, St. Jude will be available.
Promise not kept. You're delivering a building, sir, not a hospital. And that is if you do so before you convene the island's next general election. Because if you truly want to deliver on that promise, you will have sufficient time to do so. I've not spoken to any of the contractors. I've not spoken to Mr. Reno Kajada to find out. But who knows, if you bide your time, because the Constitution gives you sufficient time to remain in office up until October of this year. You can't complete the hospital, have it commissioned between now and October, and then call the election, and then you would have fulfilled your promise to the people of this country. So it was a couple of years ago on his program, the MP for Castries Central and local government minister Richard Frederick said the following with regard to the St. Jude reconstruction project.
And I dare say, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, I'm putting you on notice. Should the hospital not be completed during our term, I will no longer run for elections. Okay? Should the hospital not be completed within our term, I will not contest the next general elections. And I dare say, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, I'm putting you on notice. Should the hospital not be completed during our term, I will no longer run for elections. Okay? Should the hospital not be completed within our term, I will not contest the next general elections.
MP for Castries Central and local government minister Richard Frederick. Should St. Jude Hospital not be completed within our term, I will not contest the next poll. Imagine a few hacks already commenting on Facebook, maybe. preparing to call the program. They say, but the hospital has been completed. It's not a hospital. Not until it has been commissioned. What you have there is just a structure, just a building that's not fit to be called a hospital. It is not a hospital, not until it has been commissioned. It remains just a glorious structure. Point at it. It's a building. Look, a building there. You can't see that St. Jude Hospital. No, it's not. Let us say, I almost call him the mouth of the South. I hope he does not mind. But he's the NewsSpin endorsed candidate for VA4 South, the one and only APA.
Saudi dollars to renovate, to complete the hospital, and to do renovation at the stadium when St. Jude's leave the stadium. Where is that money? And nothing is being done. 2.5% for health and security, Philip JP. And nothing on health and security, no improvement. Things getting worse. Philip JP. Fuel. $17 fuel cap. 4 years you in power. Fuel is the cheapest on the market. And you have a $16, $17 cap. And you put in as first due for us. Ring the bell, Philip JP. Ring it. Call it, man. Call the election, man. Philip JP. Where? Mete non Pierre, mete non Père. Philip JP. C'est non nef là by Prime Minister no. No, he's a mystery. You're a mystery. Call it. Philip JP, call it. Let St. Lucian make up their mind. Let St. Lucian prove if you worked or if you didn't work. Because c'est pas un pas qui a déterminé si Philippe JP travaille, si Philippe JP pas travaille. C'est moi, c'est que ici, là, il y a les petits boîtes là, les mettre droite dans le petit rouge là. C'est eux qui a décidé si le gouvernement travaille bien, si le gouvernement pas travaille bien. So Philippe JP, qui ça opère à Philippe JP? Ou dit qu'il y a un monde, Philippe JP, look to the Monday. Why you call it Philippe JP on a Monday? My little birds tell me, you will go on the market step on Sunday, and you'll ring the bell on Sunday, and call the election on Monday. Philippe JP, est-ce que moi ça est possible? Will it be December 8th, Philippe JP on a Monday? Philippe JP, let us know, because Ralph Gonzalez, your partner, your partner Ralph Gonzalez says on the 27th of this month. Philippe JP, will you do it a week later?
And we wait to find out when St. Lucians will be going to the polls, and the Prime Minister of St. Lucia will be making that determination, just so they're from APA, the independent candidate for VA4 South in the upcoming general election. We open the lines right now to take your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air.
Good afternoon to you.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Timothy.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon. Yes, Timothy, I would like to ask two questions.
Caller, going forward, hold on, caller. Going forward, I will not be asking my listeners to turn down the volume of any device they are using to listen to the program. I'll cut them off. Because we've been saying that for years now. Sir. So,
okay,
I hope it's down.
I hope it's down. From it.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Continue. Yes, sir.
I have two questions to ask. One for the general public. And the second question is specifically for VA4 South. So I'm going to ask the general public the question first. Are you all satisfied? That is every St. Lucians. Are you all satisfied? Dr. Kenyon Tony was Prime Minister of St. Lucia. He represented VA4 for 15 years as Prime Minister, and the other as our opposition. Are you all satisfied with the kind of representation that Dr. Kenyon Tony gave to VA4? That is for the general public. And don't be hypocritical. Just come straight and say yes or no. Are you all satisfied with that? Now I come into VA4 South. And that's just the similar question, you know. VA4 South. For the past 15 years, Dr. Kenyon Tony was the Prime Minister, and other years he was in opposition, whatever. Are you all satisfied with the kind of representation that Dr. Kenyon will give you all in Beaufort South? Are you all satisfied? If you all don't, why you allowed Dr. Kenyon to handpick somebody to replace him in Beaufort South? Why you all allowed him to handpick somebody when you all can do that? That's your democratic right to choose somebody to represent you all. Dr. Kenyon Tony handpick somebody to represent you all when he did not do so good, I should say, for Beaufort South. So the question lies to the general public, and the question lies to Beaufort South in particular. So I'm going to add a feedback, because I have that question 2 weeks ago to ask, but it's very hard to get him off it sometimes. I'm so happy I get it the first person this morning. So this is the question I'll pose on the general public and for Beaufort South. Thank you, Timothy.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. Let's see if we have any of your messages to go through while we are awaiting some of your calls. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, this administration has replaced Allen's box for a series of boxes which still cannot serve us as a functional hospital. They are now shifting the goalpost. After promising us a hospital and ousting Chasney for failing to complete the hospital, they now expect us to accept a series of boxes which we still cannot use as a hospital. It's like a whole term has passed and we're back to where we were during Allen's term. The only difference is that we've spent more than $2 million on an older structure which would not be able to withstand Hurricane Melissa. We have a call. Hello, good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, team.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, I have a problem. Yes, team.
Go ahead.
Team, I have a daughter who lives in Canada. 4 years ago, she tried to get her birth certificate. And team, she gets so frustrated she had to stop. This time around, she needs her birth certificate to get her documents. She went to a notary, get one of a family member to do the transactions for her. Team, they want my marriage certificate. I live in Barbados, They want my marriage certificate, my marriage birth certificate. My marriage certificate, sorry. Mm-hmm. They want my ID card. They want my my passport. I send all these documents that they want. Every time the young lady go down to the registry, they're asking for something different. I mean, we frustrated. We don't know what to do again. We don't know what to do, right? We are just fed up just to get a document. I seen I needed a birth certificate for my daughter in Barbados. I just put my name, her father name, the date she was born, and boom, in 7 days I got it. I don't know why it is so difficult to get a birth certificate. 4 years she have been trying to get that birth certificate, team. 4 long years. And every time she goes, a different document, additional document. Just say, okay, you need this, that. And then, and come. Team, let me tell you, this morning I was so emotional. I cried my heart out because she's crying and saying, oh, as a St. Lucian, I cannot even get my birth certificate. So I'm asking the authorities, please, we need my daughter birth certificate freed up. Thank you, team.
What's your daughter's name, caller?
Her name is Asher London.
Asher London.
Yes.
Now, we have a consulate mission in Canada. Are you in a position to assist?
Well, they said no, she needs the birth certificate so that they can assist.
Wow. Okay, here's hoping that somebody who's in authority will come to your rescue, come to your assistance, along with that of your daughter, to remedy this problem. Because I cannot understand that it would have taken so long. I mean, 4 years is an eternity, eh?
Yes, and she got frustrated and she stopped and she went back again because she said, well, let me try again this time because she need the document to apply for her citizenship. She need her birth certificate. And then it's like, I don't know, we just don't know what to do against him. It is frustrating. We don't know what to do because every time you go, every time you go to the treasury, they're asking for a document. No, just come and say you need 5. These are the 5 documents that you need. Every time you go, come back. You know, it is.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
And this morning she called me crying and asked her mom what I can do is sit on the phone and cry with her.
Okay, ma'am. Here's hoping that
It's
something
frustrating.
positive will come out of your call to this broadcast.
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, ma'am. Okay. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, why are being bombarded with advertisements for CIP on TV, radio, and billboards? Is the St. Lucian public the target audience to purchase these passports? Why are they asking us to protect the program? Are we the ones who put it in jeopardy? And what exactly are they expecting us to do? Protect it? A question being asked via WhatsApp. Another person says, correction team, $200 million on old St. Jude. St. Lucians, watch your bread. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says, Tim, tell Lisa don't worry to come to Mark because she does not have any food there. Guy all the way. Another WhatsApp message. Tim, reliable information. The government will have a ribbon cutting ceremony just as they did OKEU to fool the people. Later on, St. Jude will open on a phased operation. Let's see there if we have some more of your WhatsApp messages. Trying to open another one. Tim, how can the Prime Minister change his mind about the St. Jude Hospital, talking about he can give us the building? A building is not a hospital. Good afternoon to you, Amanda King. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room, and welcome back.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, Spinners. A few comments here via Facebook. Someone says, Philip, you promised St. Lucia, St. Jude Hospital. You can't deliver, another lie again. A commentary reads, my thoughts exactly, Tim, approximately 5 years. A news spinner says, it is unfortunate that the Prime Minister deceptively plays with words to give himself an out. It's time for St. Lucians to rise up against this dishonesty and deception. Someone says there are always smoke screens by this incompetent government. Commentary reads, PJP, we do not want a building, we want a completed hospital as you and your colleagues promised us. Someone says, Tim, you know very well if the people of St. Lucia had given Shasni a chance to complete the hospital, all now so the people of St. Lucia would have a brand new modern hospital. St. Lucians are too gullible and wicked. A news spinner says here, we're still knocking on the St. Jude Hospital doors but can't get in. Another commentary says, Tim, the people of the South don't care about St. Jude, they care more about the Labour Party. Someone says here, my pips, enough is enough with this man called PJP. He doesn't know what he is about. Can we allow our country to be misled by this man in the upcoming general elections? People, shine your eyes and open your ears. A commentary says, this project is not a failure, our politicians are the failures. A news spinner says, another structure used as a cash cow yet to sit waiting for deterioration, mold and goats. Another commentator says, St. Jude should not be opened unless it's commissioned. What is the point in having a grand opening of the hospital if it's not going to be operational? SLP, stop trying to fool us. A commentator says, what is the use of a building that's not functional? Someone says there, every time this Prime Minister opens his mouth, I'm disheartened to know our people think that this is the best we can do with this man at the helm of our country. A news spinner says here, all that proves is that Shasni was right. After 4 years, the 80-year-old hospital structure is not it. If only they had just completed the new structure, they would have enough time to commission and we would have a functioning hospital. But you all played politics with the hospital. Commentator says, I wonder if PJP is not completing the hospital just to do away with Richard Frederick. A news spinner says a commissioning of a major project like a health facility can go on for months. The project first needs to be first needs to get to practical completion before we even speak about commissioning. Practical completion is the point in a construction project when the building is finished, except for minor defects that can be fixed without disrupting the client's use.
Thank you so much, Amanda. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to you, Amanda.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, caller.
Yeah, Tim, I was watching I think the Deputy Prime Minister, which is Venezuela, speak on he had a news conference, right?
Yes.
Speaking on behalf of free press, journalism, and all of that. Tim, I find this guy is real prophetic, speaking on like how he welcomed journalism and
Well, Colin, let's be fair. Let's be fair to the Deputy Prime Minister. A question was posed to the Prime Minister, and he was responding to the question.
I'm talking about Honest there. Right?
Yes. A question was posed to him.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Tim, the way he talking like he's so compassionate about free press and journalism, Tim, his actions is totally something different, Because when I watched how he treated the woman at the parliamentary area there, Tim, that was unacceptable. But to tell me, because let me tell you, if you genuinely love free press, right, that'll be something that is embedded in you. But what he showed there is nothing embedded in him. He just shows his direct actions and the way he feels. Because the best thing would I do to welcome the journalist and then openly speak to her and have an open interview. But to tell me you think you try and shove her out of the place. I mean, now he didn't think. He just, to me, how I feel is he just want to condition whatever his actions is now because he got the opportunity. Who knows if he staged this with his so-called journalists to stage that to show to condition it so that people could feel sorry for him. But all in all, under them guys with it, man. And Tim, one more thing. When you talk about the hospital team and St. Jude's, I think you should leave. You shouldn't mention the Shastny administration thing.
But he was in office.
To be honest, man.
But he was in office between 2016 and 2021. It's fair to
but Tim,
include him.
The reason why I'm saying that, when you look at his approach towards the whole situation, Tim, and within that limited space of time and what he delivered, Tim, I don't think he should be nowhere within that category of, because COVID hit, and not even that, while the hospital was going, he had the same SLP, from what I understood, was actually putting all obstacles in the way, preventing them from actually doing certain things. And to get it, that structure, that modern structure, with helipad and, and all of that. I mean, we should, I don't think his administration within that period of time should be labeled within this criticism team. And that's my take on that. I think Shastny shouldn't be criticized, no way, when it comes to St. Jude Hospital. Because within that limited space of time, what he delivered to him is I could say phenomenal.
Okay, Colin. All right.
All right, Tim. That's my take on that.
Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Calling from the diaspora. We'll see if we can have a call on the landline. In the meantime, let me go through a WhatsApp message. And the WhatsApp message reads, will Richard Frederick still be a candidate, considering the hospital will or may not be operational by election time? Asking for the independent red. And yet another WhatsApp message. And somebody says there, let's see there. Okay, but let's take a call instead. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin on the air. Yeah. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Good afternoon to you.
Tim, you there?
Loud and clear. I'm hearing you.
Right. Tim, I just called to endorse the last caller's opinion. I am honestly saying to you that you've been unfair to Shastny, because Shastny fought COVID professionally, right? And after COVID, the country was developing beautifully. and the tourist was coming in beautifully while he sought to handle the hospital, which is St. Jude's situation. He realized that he couldn't work with that old structure. He built a modern first class. So when it comes to Chasney, St. Lucians are responsible for not having St. Jude and a new airport today. My reason for saying that is, if St. Lucians had left Chasney there, today we would have a brand new 7-wing airport and a brand new hospital commissioned. So St. Lucians are responsible for that. So you could blame the other administrations for St. Jude, but not Chasney. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for expressing your opinion. Let's see if we have another call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, team.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, Colin.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to you, Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
Tim, permit me a little, amount of time on your show to deal with three particular issues that I have concerns with. The first one is with the hospital. We have it's proposed that we have a new hospital based on the pronouncements made by the current government. And I am an independent thinker. I look at it that both administrations, both the UWP and the SLP, has faltered in that regard. For the amount of time this hospital has been in abeyance, for the amount of years, 16 years, over $400 million, we should have a state-of-the-art, modern-day facility that should surpass most of, if not all, those that exist in our region. And for us to still be lingering and going back and forth as to whether it's going to be commissioned before or after election, or whether it was the previous administration had done the same thing and what have you, that does not make sense. The people need a proper health institution, a proper health, hospital, a proper hospital that they can go to when they are in need of health care. So I hold both administrations accountable, and more specifically, this one as it relates to the opening of St. Jude and the commissioning and what have you. That was not the promise that was made. I think the government should keep to their promise and see to it that the hospital is opened and functioning properly as a proper health institution before the building get delivered to them holistically by the contractor. There's a retention process with contractors. I don't know how the contract was signed, but there's a retention process. I know all contracts, when you finish the building or the structure, there is some funds being held back, and it's like a warranty situation. If something happens, then they can call you back and you see to it until, a certain period of time, whether it's 6 months or to a year, until that is remedied. Then the hospital is in full-fledged, full operation, everything working well, then you get your full payment. All right? A certain percentage is withheld. I understand that. But you cannot have the building being delivered and it's not going to be commissioned and in use. That doesn't make sense to me. That is not the completion of a hospital. That is one aspect of the health situation. The other one is OKEU right now. If we are going to be getting a new building, which is going to be bigger, we need more staff. We need more staff. And from all indications and from all the interviews by the Minister of Health and the ministry, the department officials, that everything is running well at OKU and the services are 100%, and people that are complaining are just being biased and what have you. Steve, I have a personal experience with a very close friend of mine who's at the hospital right now. And her children and her close friends and relatives have to be the ones going there every day to clean and to take care of her. Where are the nurses? And if we are preparing for a new structure, which is bigger, which will need more persons, which will require a higher demand of human resource, you are telling me at this minimal size facility we have at OKU, we're having this problem with a shortage of nurses to the point where families have to be caring for their loved ones because of the fact that the nurses are not able to manage the situation because of a lack of manpower. That is something that the minister has to open his eyes and look into immediately, even before the new one is commissioned, because we'll have a worse situation. The corridors are filled with young people lying and sitting all over the place. They're not being attended to in a timely manner. Something has to be done about that. And if they are in denial, I will have the persons record what they are doing, when they are doing it, and I will send the clip to you. That is the one. That is one. The other one is the lay law team. The lay law has been enforced on St. Lucia because of the so-called extrajudicial killings that they claim, the U.S. claimed that was happening in St. Lucia. Police officers, some of them are still in abeyance, some of them have not resumed the normal to get promotions. They are denied a lot of opportunities because of this lay law, and there's all this investigation on the impacts and what have you, right? And now you have on the high seas the Americans taking out fishing boats and fishermen and persons on the high seas, just killing them indiscriminately, killing these people without any fear or favor, without any explanation to no regional governments, nothing. And I'm not hearing the outcry. I'm not hearing people, the OECS, CARICOM, I'm not hearing a collective voice on that. What kind of standards, what kind of double standards are these? Where is the accountability? Who is going to impose the lay law on America? It's not right. There's no proof. And I'm not condoning, don't take me wrong, I'm not condoning any illegal activities. But you need to apprehend, you need to prove that these persons are partaking in illegal activities and the necessary actions be taken against them. You cannot just bomb people out of the water, bomb them out of the water, literally killing them, and nothing goes. And now you're occupying the high seas, you're occupying the Caribbean seas and Venezuela, and unconfirmed reports that the Russians are now in Venezuela. So we have a pending war on our hands, which will raise the cost of living and which will cause our countries to go into further recessions because our cost of goods will go up. We will have difficulties in getting our cargo and our goods and services coming from overseas because our waters will be overlooked by these warships.
Our tourism industry will be jeopardized. Our tourism industry will be jeopardized as well, Colin.
Yes, our tourism industry, all our services will be at risk. We'll be suffering in the region. Where are the governments? Where are the CARICOM, OECS, the UN members, United Nations members, collective body? Where are those groups and those governments? What do they have to say about this? And thirdly, and lastly, the Speaker of the House, Mr. Francis, he did a very good job on Sunday. I was viewing the Labour Party in Choiseul, the launching of the candidate. And the mood is red. Yes, the mood is red. But you must strike a balance. Not everybody is going to pay attention to the mood being red. You have some people where the code is yellow or the code is blue. And the information that he was disseminating as it relates to electoral eligibility, all that information, and don't get me wrong, was quite well brought across. It's important that we know about this. But not everybody will be watching the Labour Party launching of the candidate. So this has to be done on news medias, an independent body from the electoral, as the electoral committee, the electoral
commission
department has to select commission, has to have a group of people, a committee, coming out there on a weekly basis with the programs, enlightening and educating people about voter registration and ensuring that persons are well informed as to how to go about ensuring that they are registered in the proper constituencies and what have you, to try to avoid all those, the percentage of spoiled ballots that we had in the last election, because that they can determine the election where it goes.
Yeah.
Right? So he as the Speaker of the House, I think
Caller, I don't think that's his responsibility. As much as I appreciate the fact that what he did was very commendable, educational and so on, that is the responsibility of the electoral department or the electoral commission. Because you do not want somebody who's aligned to a political party, and being the Speaker of the House, he's part of the hierarchy of the SLP and so on, to be out there educating people on the voting process and so on. Not because he will do anything that you consider to be unethical. I'm just saying perception-wise. You understand? People from certain political parties will not even pay attention or listen to what he is saying, the message that he's imparting to the citizenry. So you need a body that is clearly seen as being impartial, coming to the fore and educating the public. And so far, this electoral department / electoral commission has done a lousy job in making its presence felt, in educating members of the public on the whole voting process and ensuring that you registered and so on. Lousy job. That is just about probably the most inefficient set of individuals that I have seen in action operating the affairs of the electoral department. That's my take on it, sir.
Tim, well said. You could not have said it better.
And when you appreciate those things is when you see the chief electoral officer in certain countries, in Trinidad, in Jamaica, in Barbados, in Guyana, forever. I mean, we are in an election year.
Yes.
And we're not getting that blitz of information from that department. I wonder
that is my point,
what is going on.
That is my point. That is my point, to be exact, Tim. You could not have said it better than that. You understand? You could not have said it better than that. So, Tim, I want to thank you very much for your time, for giving me that time. And thank you. Thank you for putting it together for me, because, I was just about alluding to it.
Where you calling from, caller?
Where you calling from?
Where you calling from?
Let's say I'm calling from the diaspora.
Okay, sir. All right. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Appreciate the contribution, sir. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We have more in store for you. So, of course, you do not want to go away. In the meantime, Lusilek wishes to advise customers and the public that its customer service office in Rodney Bay is closed to the public effective immediately until further notice. The closure is necessary due to extenuating circumstances beyond the company's control. During the closure, the same great online options are available for your every need. They include access to account balances at 457-4433 and online payments through the My Account service at myaccount.lusilek.com. The management of Lusilek regrets any inconvenience that this closure may cause.
Action speaks. The United Workers' Party, St. Lucian Diaspora in New York, invites you to a town hall meeting Saturday, November 8th, 2025 from 6:30 p.m. The Honorable Alan Shastney invites you to an important meeting to discuss the UWP's vision and plans for a stronger, safer, and more prosperous St. Lucia. This Saturday, November 8th, 2025, 6:30 p.m. at 1346 President Street between Kingston and Brooklyn. For more information, check out www.uwpstlucia.com.
WASCO wishes to inform the public of planned maintenance on its raw water pipeline on Tuesday, November the 4th, 2025. During this period, water pressure and supply to customers from Millet to Cap Estate will be affected. Upon completion of these scheduled works, residents at higher elevations and at the end of the distribution line may experience additional delays as the network stabilizes. The public is therefore strongly advised to conserve water where possible. WASCO apologizes to its valued customers for any inconvenience caused as we work towards infrastructure resilience and restoration of regular water supply. Look out for updates on our website and social media platforms.
Programme CIP a wede bâti pays Saint-Lucie. Nous ni pour protéger, préserver avec faire plus fort pour l'autre génération qui va venir. Tous les années, CIP a mis en place millions à sous millions de dollars pour bagaille qui pour chez nous. Maman l'école, jeunesse, moun qui ni besoin de traitement médical, chimie, l'hôpital, kabati communauté, employment et puis développement national. Citizenship by Investment CIP, c'est ça nous pour protéger, ça nous pour nous chaîne, pour en primaire cette lycée.
KFC, yo, we back with the vibe. Strips and dip combo, flavor that rise. Free crispy strips, fries on the side. 16-ounce drink, sauce for the ride. Order for 25, deal so nice. Good and crunchy, can't think twice. Barbecue, honey, mustard ranch if you wish. Dip it, dunk it, finger licking bliss. KFC, brand new flavor. Set the mood, strips and dip is back, finger licking good.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with Loose Select. No more paper, no more mess. Easy billing, no stress. Use my account to pay online. Pay your bill at any time. Get the stress off your mind. No more standing in line.
Visit LootSelect.com today and sign up to my account to pay your bill. Request a temporary or new connection or switch an account to your tenant's name. Do it all online.
Personal, paperless. Use the virtual service desk. Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with Loose Select.
Chronic back pain, arthritis, spinal injuries, nerve disorders, even painful cramps. These conditions affect daily life, but you don't have to live with pain. Every day matters when it comes to your health. At La Clinique du Corps, we provide fast, accurate diagnosis with advanced GE-certified MRI technology and internationally recognized specialists. Our focus is safe, effective treatment that restores mobility, relieves pain, and gives you back your quality of life. Call 451-6559 today. 451-6559. La Clinique du Corps, because time is vital in health.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home, we've got the mortgage. Starting your first business, count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Heading to college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 455-7000 or visit your nearest First National Bank branch today so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
To have a strong structure,
you must have a strong foundation. And at Caribbean Pastouche Limited, we offer top quality aggregate materials at great prices. We supply high quality ready mix, cast in sand and plaster in sand. We also take special requests for specific materials that you may require for your building projects. Caribbean Pastouche Limited is located in Bexon behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastouche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
It's in the feeling in our weak side. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. We people, we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
Every day, St. Lucian women give everything to their families, communities, and dreams. Yet breast cancer still claims too many lives. Now, St. Lucia is making history. For the first time, state-of-the-art 3D mammography is available right here at home. Donated by the World Bank through the Health Sector Support Program, these advanced machines are a major step forward in universal health coverage, and they're free. Women 40 and older or younger, if at risk, can access this life-saving service. Visit your local wellness center for a referral. Early detection saves lives. Free mammograms, universal coverage. Your wellness center is your first step.
This is the most monitored talk show. It is called NewsSpin. It's on Power 97.9 FM, the NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Our NewsSpin question of the day. The NewsSpin question of the day, it reads, what should the SLMDA, St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association, say to the PJP government regarding St. Jude Hospital? What should the SLMDA say to the PJP government regarding St. Jude Hospital? In case you missed it, asking the question because that's what Prime Minister Philip J. said recently, I think it was this week, regarding OKEU and St. Jude being commissioned.
We will deliver St. Jude's. But I want to tell you, again, I've said so to you before. The OKEU hospital was ready from 2015. A transitioning board led by Dr. Stephen King was done. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, COVID caused us to rush. For that commissioning, we brought Cayman City. That cost the public $25 million. So I just want to tell you that St. Jude as a building is fine. St. Jude as a hospital has to get commissioned. So our promise is to give you the building. He said so, to make it available. And I want to tell you, St. Jude will be available.
The building will be available. Which takes me to another issue. The Health and Security Levy. This levy should have been introduced in July of 2023. I remember we discussed this proposed tax on the people of St. Lucia on this very program. And you can recall that many people were against it. There are some who believe that it was just, negligible. It will have a negligible impact on the people of St. Lucia. One such individual who said that was Mr. Richard Pitterkin, and I hope he can probably provide some clarification on something that we're about to discuss there. Because the Prime Minister of St. Lucia is apparently saying that when he introduced that bill, he never indicated that it was for a 2-year period. Are you a witness to this whole exercise? When it was before the House of Assembly, when it was before the lower house and the upper house, and so on. And we have on Facebook, on the internet, information that says, I'm just reminding you, refreshing your memory, not telling you anything you don't know, that the government of St. Lucia is set to introduce a health and citizen security levy for a 2-year period commencing August the 2nd, 2023. This levy will be payable to existing VAT registrants who are responsible to remit to the Comptroller of Inland Revenue, etc. So the levy in the first instance was for 2 years. Let us listen to the Prime Minister speaking this week. A question was posed to him regarding whether there should be debate, where he is open to subjecting himself to a debate, possibly with the leader of the opposition in the run-up to the island's general election. Let's listen to what he has to say, because I think he referenced the health and security levy on this whole issue.
You must have heard about the health and security levy. You heard the leader of the opposition. He vehemently said that the health and security levy was for 2 years. And he also said that I had never come back to tell the public that it was not for 2 years. The Prime Minister of St. Lucia never said that health and security levy was 2 years. I went to the Parliament and I read the excerpt from my budget address while listed the health and security levy. Then I went to the law that was passed in both the Senate and the House of Assembly that never said it was 2 years. No one else you can tell. You haven't even asked him the question. You haven't even asked him the question, whether he forgot or whether he missed it. No commentator. We've forgotten that. How can I debate in that level? Tell me, how is it possible to debate on that? I want you to help me. How could I debate with that kind of misinformation? I can't. I can't debate. I mean, things that are clear. The health and security levy was passed in the Parliament. It was debated. The leader of the opposition says it's for 2 years. He stands by it. We show him it's not for 2 years. We show him the law. He stands by it. Nobody has asked him anything about it. We just allow that to pass. So how can I debate that? Tell me, honestly, if you're me, you would debate that? I can't. I can only debate on things that have some level of correct information.
I mean, should we be shaking our heads in disbelief? Can good reason prevail in this country? Those people are not aligned to any political party. Those people who have a conscience. One of you, can you call NewsSpin this afternoon and to say that this health and security levy in the first instance was for 2 years? From 2023 to 2025, it was for 2 years? Can somebody say that the Prime Minister is absolutely wrong on this particular issue? Because the Prime Minister is not speaking the truth. I'm not going to say the Prime Minister is a liar. But it was for 2 years in the first instance. I will prove it to you. Because in January of this year, Zane Romulus, who was then with DBS Television, posed a question to the Prime Minister, and he responded. Don't forget that was in January of this year.
Security levy will continue past this fiscal year.
Yes. I've been inside my budget, yes. Only 2.5%.
Yeah,
It's not going to increase.
Capital security levy will
Mhm.
continue past this fiscal year.
Yes. I've been inside my budget, yes. Only 2.5%. It's not going to increase.
Will the health and security levy go past this fiscal year? Yes. Listen to the budget. And it's only 2.5%. So that means he had to extend it. The 2-year period had elapsed. So he had to seek parliamentary approval to extend it. That's exactly what happened. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Let's see if we get a call via WhatsApp. Do we have a call via WhatsApp? No, I don't think we do. But we'll try to see. Let me turn my attention to you. And Amanda, give me some relief. Give me a break there. So go through the WhatsApp messages, please, while I take a break from the calls.
Tim, a few comments here via Facebook. Someone says, so PJP had all the time to finish the so-called box and have it fully operational by now. Instead, he spent millions in the chicken coop, and he's saying he's giving St. Lucian's the building, but not a hospital. Commentary reads, a hospital in Jamaica got dilapidated by Hurricane Melissa. The metal roof blew off. Buildings across from it stayed intact with a concrete roof. Philip borrowed $200 million to finish his 20 galvanized chicken coops, which will not withstand the Category 4 or 5 hurricane and will not be opened as a hospital. A NewsSpin says no government can satisfy everyone, so changing of government every 5 years helps St. Lucia to go forward. Do we really know what we need? Are we blind by politics? Are we biased? Someone says the situation with the hospital is just perplexing. When will the people get to the hospital? A commentary reads, does an inefficient government, a clueless, infantile prime minister help St. Lucia go forward? Someone says I'm looking at all the young people from Grozile following just for the hype and the small amounts they are given. Do they understand their worth and how much more they deserve from their representative? Instead of gaining the respect of their rep, they simply look for recognition. Shake my head. And NewsSpinner says if UWP was in power, we would have had a proper hospital and an airport in VA4. I sometimes wonder if SLP cares about the progress and well-being of our island and our people. They are good at throwing crumbs, and the gullible base happily accepts. Another commentary says that's true caller St. Lucian's that we blamed for not having a new modern hospital. Someone says our caller Shasney wanted to give us a state-of-the-art hospital, but St. Lucian's did not allow him. Commentary says OKEU is a disgrace in terms of care. Some of the staff are unprofessional and have no compassion. I witnessed an employee cursing a co-worker in the presence of other staff and patients. His time off request was denied. He said he had worked 10 days straight with no time off. A NewsSpinner says 80-year-old structure, you go in and spend millions on that structure. People in St. Lucia are too short-sighted, no vision around us. Commentator says, Call, I agree with you. The Caribbean governments are still on their hands. Commentator says, and we are paying a 2.5% levy for health and security. A NewsSpinner says, Dr. Sylvia Wilson, please call to speak on this new update by Philip G. Pierre. A NewsSpinner says the entire process needs revamping. The voters list needs to be rectified, and it's time to move away from this archaic practice of dipping your fingers in ink. A commentary says the enablers who try their best to see that St. Lucians don't exercise their domestic rights, your day is coming. A NewsSpinner says the SLMDA has nothing to say to the PJP government. As usual, they should wait in case Alan Shasney forms government and see all what they had to say. Where St. Jude is concerned, it's because of politics that public and private sectors are playing with matters affecting the country. That is why St. Lucia is bleeding. Another commentary reads, I am really hoping that we can have some normal semblance of governance in this place soon. It might take a while to get it might take me a while to rid my mind of these clown shows. A few comments here via YouTube. Someone says, Tim, the voters allowed the ministers to use them. It should be country, not party color. Commentary says, here comes the excuses. This government is a joke and you people cannot see that. This is a circus show. Commentary via YouTube, a NewsSpinner says, Team, up to now, we have not received any payments for the Public Service and Child Disability Grant for September and October. And the commentary reads, we are witnessing something extraordinary unfolding in the Caribbean, something that would have been unthinkable just a decade ago. That's it for me, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I'd like to inform you now that Lucilex Customer Service Office in Rodney Bay has been opened from 7:30 this morning. So, again, Lucilex customers, please be informed that the Customer Service Office in Rodney Bay has been opened from 7:30 this morning. Let's continue. Let's see if we have any of your WhatsApp messages to go through. And somebody says there, okay, let's take a call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Yeah, I just want to find out if we going to be voting for, I thought we were supposed to be voting for a hospital and not for a building. The government said they were going to prepare a hospital for us, and now we're getting a building.
That's better than nothing, caller.
Say that?
That's better than nothing. You're getting a building. No, you don't agree?
Yeah, but that's not what we were supposed to be voting for. I mean, the whole aspect of government is that when one government is doing something wrong, I heard the Prime Minister talk about 2015, 16, and 17, where it's only when 2019 OKU was commissioned. So because it took the United Workers' Party 3 years, it's supposed to take them another 3 years again, and never told people that in the beginning, saying that the St. Jude Hospital is going to be complete before election, and now they're singing a different tune. Mama, how. I think we are some. If we vote that party, that SLP party, back into government, we must be some goat or some sheep in the country, man. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your contribution. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Hello. Good afternoon. Think we have another call via WhatsApp. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, sir, Mr. Timothy.
Yes,
Poleon.
sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Mr. Chico, United Workers' Party candidate for Castries East.
Good afternoon to you, caller. Go ahead, please.
Tim, I want to just make just a short few minutes of your time just to make a couple of statements. I listened to you a few minutes ago regarding the statement made by the Prime Minister, the parliamentary representative for Castries East, where he indicated that the 2.5 levy, he never said that he had put this 2.5 levy for the 2-year period. You read the document that is being circulated online regarding the duration of the 2.5 levy. He also, when the reporter asked him the question based on the clip that you just played, he also responded, yes, it's only 2.5, as if to say it's a joke. I don't know if I am the only one who remembered or if I dreamt of it. Didn't that same Prime Minister in the House pass a bill to extend this 2.5 levy in the same House until 2026? I think that was what happened. Now, Tim, when you listen to a gentleman like that, and the guy is incoherent, the guy is untruthful, the guy is, the Prime Minister, every time he opens his mouth, he seems to be putting his foot down his throat. And it bothers me. And it just brought me to this press statement that was written and submitted by the Castries East constituency branch. Team, I was the one who conducted that meeting. At that meeting, on that night, we had 9 speakers. There were 4 candidates in Mr. Guy Joseph, Mr. Rush Clark, Mr. Tommy Descat, and myself. And we had 5 additional guest speakers. But the Prime Minister chose one photo, because I posted these photos first. I posted, I think, about 29 photos. The Prime Minister chose one of the photos, and if you realize that photo, it was probably just into dusk. It was still daylight. That's when we were just setting up for the meeting. And the Prime Minister chose that photo. And if you look well at that photo, it shows 7 adults and 2 children. The 2 of them probably have the age. One is about 4 and the other one probably about 6. As a matter of fact, one of the kids, a young girl, at the end of the meeting, because I referenced a twin that I was assisting to send to school from the Masha Boulevard, who had never gone to school before, but I was able, it was a personal project I took on to get these 2 kids back in school. It took me at least 1 year to do so, and I got these kids back in. I got these kids not back in school because they had never attended school, and they are actually 8 years. I was able to work with the blind welfare, work with the Methodist school to get them back in school. And when I mentioned these 2 kids, the little child was so moved by that she took the microphone and she said she hoped and prayed. She's hoping and praying that these 2 kids get to learn just as well as she is doing, because she was not doing well, and because her parents kept encouraging her, she's now doing very well. That kid is only about 6 years when she said that. But for the Prime Minister and parliamentary representative for Castries is to go in a SLP meeting and say that he saw 3 brothers, 2 people, and 4 dogs. I mean, this is gross disrespect, and the Prime Minister has to make a formal apology, a public apology to the residents of Castries, of Bishop Gap, Castries, St. Lucia, and I want him to make a special apology to these 2 little kids. All the people, all the children, that type of representation is not what they need. So I'm asking all St. Lucians, put everything aside and do what is right for Castries and worst for St. Lucia. So I'm asking all United Workers' Party supporters, on election day, do this country, do yourself a favor, vote for the future of this country, the future of your children and your children's children. I'm asking every St. Lucian to vote for their life and security, because what we see happening under the St. Lucia Labour Party is just not acceptable. And if we are to allow the St. Lucia Labour Party to continue down that trend, telling those lies and misleading, and before anything they are first to say misinformation. But these are the biggest bunch of liars. These are the biggest bunch of untruthful people that I know and I have seen before. Team, I want to thank you and to remind St. Lucians that this election is very, very important, and we must do what we must do, and that is to get rid of that entire St. Lucia Labour Party government.
But
I thank you.
Okay, but hold on there, Mr. Chico.
Wait. Yes.
In defense of Mr. Philip J. Pierre, the MP for Castries Central, I believe that the statement he made would have been
Philip J. Pierre for Castries East.
Castries East. I think the statement was in jest. I don't think he was saying that those individuals, whether those human beings, are dogs. And I'll tell you why. This is not the first time that such a statement has been made by Mr. Philip J. Pierre. I remember vividly when he went up against Mr. Romanus Lansico in 1997, and this time he was successful. He was saying that Mr. Romanus Lansico, the gathering there, included a couple of men, a couple of women, and a couple of dogs. This is not the first time he has made that statement, you know. So I don't think he was describing those people there as dogs. In all honesty, I don't think that's what the Prime Minister did.
Tim, in all honesty, I think you tried to put a plug for the Prime Minister.
No, I'm not.
Let me tell you something. Tim, let me just explain something to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the photo that gentleman showed, and all his supporters, they're laughing like, I think Mr. Wayne had a term, the hyena laugh came out. Tim, if you look at the photo is clear. There was absolutely no animals around in that photo. Now this, and where I may give you a little credit, because this is a habit. This is in the DNA of the St. Lucia Labour Party. You remember when Ernest Hiller stood up in the House when they were referring to Guy Joseph as Chasse's poodle.
A poodle, yeah.
You remember Ernest Hiller? Yes. You remember Ernest Hiller stood up in the House for about 15 minutes trying to justify, as if to mock and to ridicule the statement, to say, oh, in the House of Lords in England, it has been, they refer to people as poodles, not to mean that they are dogs. Tim, this is the same thing these people are doing. They try to make you believe, oh, it was just a joke. And in saying that, there is a young guy from Castro's. The guy went around telling everybody that I was a thief and I stole everybody's thing. And all kind of story. So I met him and I confronted him amongst a group of persons. And I said to him, but look, I asked him, what do you know about me? And he said to me, oh, well, I know you from local, I know your family, I know this. He gave me the whole story. And then I said, have I ever stole anything of yours? He said no. I said, so why is it that you are going about telling the residents of Marchand that I am a thief and I stole people things from customs and on the wharf and I stealing and I am. And you know what the gentleman said to me in front of everybody? He was only joking. So this is a joking government team, because that gentleman I'm speaking about, he is actually a supporter of the St. Lucia Labour Party. You understand me? So that's what they do. That's what they learn. That's what they're being taught to do. So to tell me that the Prime Minister he didn't mean to call people dogs, Tim, I will not buy that. The Prime Minister knows very well what he's talking about. The Prime Minister knows very well what he's doing and saying. And it always brings me back to one story that I keep telling my people when I speak to them. If you look at the actions of the Prime Minister pretends that he doesn't know anything. You ask him a question, I don't know about that. I have not been briefed. I don't know. That's all he does. I always ask people to go back and look at how the boss of the Lucchese family in New York used to operate. The FBI were on this gentleman. They were trying to find out who this gentleman was. For years, they couldn't pinpoint him. And you could look at it, I'll say it again, the Lucchese family. And when they finally got to know who the Lucchese crime boss was, the gentleman was walking up and down the streets with slippers and a pyjama, begging people and all kind of things. And nobody suspected that this was the crime boss. Philip Pierre, his actions reminds me of this gentleman and how this gentleman was behaving. Philip Pierre knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what is going on. And every action that you see happen, everything that comes out, the Prime Minister knows everything about it. So, Tim, I will not be fooled, and I'm asking St. Lucians not to be fooled, not to listen to the rhetoric of the St. Lucia Labour Party for them to go out there and vote. I know a lot of them will be spinning their heads now, trying to take me on, but they will not intimidate me, and they will not intimidate the United Workers' Party. Tim, I said this movement that you see that the United Workers' Party has there is a divine one. And no weapons used by the St. Lucia Labour Party will save them in this election. Tim, again, I thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. The United Workers' Party candidate for Castries East, Mr. Peter Chico. The broadcast is due for a break. We'll be back in just a bit with more of your calls, your WhatsApp messages, and of course, we'll be doing some worky. Stay with us.
Essie, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Butey. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
Lucilec averti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone ça là. Mi un petit commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Kouye Lucilec avant ou trim et ben couper pied bois qui poué ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outil ou ka servi pas vini moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green.
our 40th anniversary, 40th year, Burning Flames, and the 30th of July, we'll be doing a concert at the ARG, and everything. We're trying to do everything this year like we've done in the past. The Lions, the Jam Pan, just everything. Try to create that lost and that missing spirit of Carnival.
40 glorious years of triumphs, of losses, of victories, and of challenges that these brothers have overcome together. They have created history not only as a family, but they've paved the way for many musical greats to follow suit.
So earlier you heard Worky Worky and performed there by Burning Flames, and you just heard Clarence Unku Edwards speaking about the band celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. And most of you, if not all of you, are fans of Burning Flames, known for Worky Worky, Tout Monde Danser, Iron Band, also Kick and She Backdoor, among others. Now refer to those members of the band as Sir. All 4 members of Burning Flames were on Monday this week, Monday evening, knighted at the ceremonial park marking 44 years of independence for Antigua and Barbuda. And there you have the brothers, Toriano King Onion Edwards, David Bubai Edwards, and Clarence Unku Edwards, along with the nephew, drummer Ron Fox Watkins. They received loud cheers from the crowd as they received their honor. So it is Sir to all those guys. They have been knighted and well deserved for the years of entertainment and joy they have brought to people of the Caribbean and indeed the people of the world. We'll take one call, and in just a moment we still have our NewsSpin news of the day, and we have an update from you, Amanda. What is happening in the chat rooms?
Earlier, someone says there, but Tim, there was an official statement made by the government saying they would extend the 2.5% levy. Lord have mercy. Our commentary reads, Tim, the Prime Minister doesn't lie, he just doesn't remember. That's why SLP gets away with everything, because they control the narrative and make everyone believe what they are saying, even if they know it's wrong. A NewsSpinner says, Tim, where are the reporters to remind the Prime Minister of his previous statements? Anyway, we don't have that. Wrong question. Someone says, every time I listen to my Prime Minister, I get my workout from shaking my head in disbelief. A commentary reads, a lot of roaring lions with no substance. Someone says, I do not understand how some St. Lucians can say the Prime Minister is an honest man when clearly you can hear him saying one thing, then later saying he never said it. A NewsSpinner says, if this government had simply completed the brand new modern world-class climate-resistant hospital, it would have been commissioned and opened since 2023 at the very latest. We would not even be talking about this now, but instead the hatred towards Mr. Chasney and the need to play dirty politics was more important than the people's money, health and life. SLP must go. Commentary says, caller, we not getting a hospital, we're getting half a loaf. Someone says their SLPs may be playing with your minds. They will surprise you guys with a fully commissioned hospital. A NewsSpinner says, I'm so sorry for my island, St. Lucia, because of the Labour Party who is clueless. The only thing they are good at is calling people names and talking mess. A NewsSpinner says, in all honesty, if it was Alan Chasney that made that statement, all SLP and their supporters would be tearing him apart. Now, the commentary says, when Chasney uses figurative language, they say he calls St. Lucians dogs. When Pierre says it in raw form, that's not what he means. A lol, joke country. Commentary says it's a bit of a long one. Tim, the Minister of Housing and Local Government, recently boasted that the government earned $240 million from the Citizenship by Investment Program, CIP. What he didn't share is how much of that money was actually collected from investors, and more importantly, which projects or programs these funds are being invested in or will be invested in. While we're on the subject, the government owes the nation transparency by presenting the independent audited accounts for the CIP for 2022 to 2023 and 2023 to 2024. These reports are overdue 2 years and 1 year late, respectively, and the people deserve to know where every dollar is going. We call on Minister We call on the minister and the government to provide clear answers and full accountability. Someone says our team do not make excuses for PJP as the Prime Minister. He should have chosen his words carefully. And NewsSpinner says the SLP leads with a hand-to-mouth mentality. Very temporary actions. We need progress, not $500 just for today. Commentary reads, some of these SLPs still expecting to get land from this government. Pooh, a year. A few comments here via YouTube. Someone says... Okay, I read those already. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for that update. WhatsApp message, somebody says, Tim, the PM is not lying. I suspect he has early onset dementia. We keep saying he's lying, but check the symptoms. The person continues, Tim, the camera's still on you. We saw that stretch and yawn. Tim, we can read lips. Tim, we catch you. You will have the labor pains boys hiring some lip readers to analyze what you were saying. Let's take a quick call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
For the sake of jogging you some memories, I want to just remind you that the OKE hospital was named only on 22nd February 2016 at a cost, I can't recall, of $100,000. Now, elections were due that happened that year in June, which may be just a coincidence. And you might remember that opening was accompanied with a kind of mini carnival with actors and singers.
Yes, I remember.
I wonder how many hospitals are opened with that kind of ceremony, you know. I wonder how many. Anywhere in the world, anywhere else in the world, especially when we broke. But anyway, at that opening, Barford, who was the ambassador, the EU ambassador. Remember that?
Yes, I remember, yes.
Yeah, he diplomatically said that he hoped he would be retiring in 6 months, and he hoped it would be open before that time.
Yeah.
I was in 2016. But it was operational in 2020, Tim. And as I recall, correct me if I'm wrong, as an emergency COVID measure.
That's what prompted it. That's what prompted it, yes.
Yeah, it was an emergency situation. I hope somebody will correct me on that. Which leads me to question now, was there a healthcare commissioning and a building commissioning? The two different things, huh? Healthcare commissioning and building commissionings. So I just thought I'd throw it around because it almost seems like history repeating itself in terms of election date, in terms of opening, naming, etc., etc. I just thought I'd throw it around.
Because my issue is, I don't think, and I know, as I said earlier on, this thing, you know, they will set a whole lot of confusion around it and so on. Because this administration will say at least they delivered the building. But a building is just a structure. It is not a hospital. And I believe most people have anticipated that the hospital had been delivered. You had a transfer of the staff and the patients to that structure to call it a fully functioning St. Jude Hospital.
That's when it's called proper commission.
Commission, yes.
That's a process. You know, you remember anything about that? Hearing anything about that? I don't think so. We only heard that there was an emergency situation, putting almost as if there was no COVID, that the hospital.
It would have taken longer. It would have taken longer.
It would not have been operational when it was. So you wonder how operational it really was at that time. These are the things we don't bother with, you know, until it strikes us in the face. In the meantime, I see on your chat room at least 2 or 3 people, I don't know if they're castigating you, but suggesting that there is information to be had on the building, and that Renault, the contractor, is supplying it regularly, which confirms for me how much we enjoy digging our own graves. We know who we're supposed to get information from on our hospitals, and I don't think it's the building contractors. But there we are satisfied, and I'm basically telling you to shut up because there's information to be had from Renault.
And this is happening at a time when you have so many people who are assigned to that St. Jude Hospital project. including people who are responsible for providing information to members of the public. Somebody says there was plans in motion to commission the OKE hospital from 2016, and it was not just COVID that caused us to move. It's a range of issues. But we'll go into the elections, I suspect, without the hospital being fully operational and commissioned, and the government will tell you that it delivered on that campaign promise. In my estimation, it has not delivered. If that is
the thing about what you're saying there, Tim, once again, is if that is important to the electorate, then you expect the electorate to act. I don't know anything is important to the electorate at all. I really don't think so. They don't care. It's an opportunity to jump and dance and get drunk free, have some fun, forget your troubles and dance. And it doesn't matter what election you go back to. That is the thing. We keep on treating this all-important matter of elections as what one politician used to call it, a time for rah-rah. Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, Rick. Finally, from us, we have the NewsSpin news of the day. It reads, Hurricane Melissa leaves 67 dead, $50 billion in damage. Hurricane Melissa leaves 67 dead and $50 billion in damage. The NewsSpin news of the day, bringing to a conclusion another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.